everyone, welcome to the Comic Gamer Movie Show, and today I'm here to talk about the bombshell yesterday that Ben Affleck will be returning to play Batman and the new Ezra. I mean, I'm gonna just say it because, you know, everyone else is trying to ignore it. Like, you notice how I know what's an Ezra Miller's Flash, but he is returning to be Batman in Ezra Miller's Flash. All these reports came out yesterday. Now, Warner Brothers, I don't think, has said anything about it, and I don't think Affleck himself has said anything about it, but everyone's expecting tomorrow at Fandom, which I keep forgetting that's tomorrow. Man, this is passing. You know, this year is passing real fast. I mean, real slow, and then it started really speeding up a bit. A lot of things that I was waiting for are starting to come out, and a lot of things that, you know, were like, felt like they were far off, are like here. But, yeah, a lot of people think that tomorrow at Fandom, they're going to bring out Ben Affleck and announce him to be in the Flashpoint movie. Now, along with that, there was rumors about Michael Keaton. I made a video about that. There's people who feel like it's even more concrete that that's where the direction that he's going to be in it. Like I said, no one's from Warner Brothers or Michael Keaton hasn't talked about it, but there are more people who think that this is a for sure thing. Though most of, not if all the reports, except for a few others, like Dead Nerds, he thinks he has his own ideas, and a few others, most of all the reports say that he's coming back to tie up loose ends. Essentially, he's coming back to fulfill the remainder of his contract, tie up loose ends, to allow that Flash, because in a sense, they tried to do the Tony Stark Iron Man thing with him and with Batman and the Flash, which, by the way, nobody mentioned that. Nobody mentioned it or cared that they tried to do that in Justice League. But you know what? I digress, and everyone lost their shit about the Tony Stark and Peter Parker relationship. No one cared that they tried to make Barry Allen fucking try to make Batman his mentor. No one gave a rat's ass about that. But since they did do that, the reason that a lot of people are saying he's gonna be in the movie is to give him more mentorship guidance before Flashpoint happens and changes everything, and Ben Affleck will be organically, or as organically as this DCEU shit can be, written out of the DCEU. So he's coming back to fulfill, you know, not only obligations, but to, you know, get the cap off his character, so it's not just this random, this is the end, and, you know, this random thing where he just disappeared and now they have to explain the new Batman. He's coming back to help to not only cap it off, but also give his character an organic end and make it make sense when they introduce another Batman in that if they want to introduce another Batman in that universe, even though they have a huge Batman project coming up, but that Batman doesn't exist in the Flashpoint universe, so they might end up creating another. So if Warner Brothers wants to completely go with the whole cinematic universe again, they might end up creating another Batman to be in this universe. You keeping up with me? Like, that's the thing, man. What Warner, like the thing is, is anyone keeping up with all this crazy shit going on over there, man? Like, I heard so many people dogging on the MCU all the time. You know, people dogging on the MCU, creative this, blah blah blah. You're not talking this. It's the end this. But man, DC is over there just throwing fruit at a wall. How these motherfuckers about to have 2, maybe 3 Batman at the same time. They might have multiple Jokers at the same time. They want to have multiple universes happening at the same time. They're greenlighting spin-offs to movies that haven't even finished yet. And the DC fandom are just like, like literally, I was arguing with people. This is the mind blower on Twitter and on other sources right now. If you go on there, they're minor spoilers. Some people were talking about Jon Favreau, kind of minorly off topic, was talking about how Mandalorian Season 3 shouldn't be delayed by COVID. And all you see through the entire comment section on any of these videos or tweets or anything like that is, why are you talking about Season 3? We haven't even seen Season 2. But when you hear all these spin-offs of the Batman, by the way, the Batman movie that is not finished. Did I mention that? It just released the poster the other day. Cool looking art poster. That's the first fucking poster that's come out for the movie. And it's still filming. They're supposed to return, they're trying to return in September, the film for that movie. But the thing about it is, they're already greenlit 2 spin-offs of a movie that hasn't come out yet. Do you know how insane that is? You know how dumb that is? And nobody has a problem. Every YouTube channel, everybody, no one has a single problem with them announcing these spin-offs, putting the cart before the horse. But somehow, all these people got issues with Jon Favreau and The Mandalorian announcing they're going to do season 3. Well, we haven't seen season 1 yet. You haven't even seen a frame of this goddamn movie, and you're cool with that. But you've seen season 1 of Mandalorian, loved it, but you're like, well, I don't know, that's different. There is something, I don't know what's going on around DC right now, but it's as if DC has, I don't know, man. They got some kind of Halo, fucking bubble shield thing going on right now because they are fucking untouchable. Ezra Miller's choking people and nobody gives a shit, which is nuts. Fucking got Amber Heard. And at the very least, maybe you can't judge what's happening in the divorce court with her, but at the very least, we gotta discuss the whole her freaking playing innocent and ruining a man's career while bolstering her own career and playing off the sympathy card. We gotta at least talk about that. Like, there's so much shit going on over there and so much chaos, and yet nobody, and it's like that meme with that guy, with that, I thought you could think it's a dog sitting inside a burning house and like it's nothing going on here. And that's just insane with DC. Meanwhile, there's literally no negatives at Marvel right now, but people are just making them up. Like, Marvel Studios hasn't announced anything. So now people are like, you know what, screw them. What? Now people are like, you know what? It's over for you anyways. Fuck you guys. What happened? Did something happen in the last... What happened? And now people are like, well, that cinematic universe thing, that's holding Marvel back. That's why Marvel's going to be in the past, because they got a cinematic universe. And, you know that thing that they have that no one else has and can do better than anybody else, and no one else has ever done it, and everyone who's attempted to do it has failed miserable. You know that thing they have? That's what's holding them back. They can't do anything. It's so nuts right now. Every fucking thing that happens. Everything. Like, the MCU is in this weird position where somehow it's finally turned. It's finally turned. I've talked about this in many videos before. It's finally turned. Where people were, and I've said this, and it's gonna be maybe this will be the last time I say it. Maybe I'll say it again. I don't know. I have said this before. I, in my heart, believe that fans, media people, and everyone felt when they were bashing DC rightfully for like Suicide Squad and shit like that, and the decisions they were making, and some of the stupid bonehead things they were doing, because I was rooting for them to have a cinematic universe. They fucked it up, and when the critics were bashing them for it, eventually people started to get tired. And I believe that. I believe that critics started to feel bad about bashing DC. They started to feel, subconscious about it. Like, to the point where some of my favorite YouTubers and stuff, like, even if they didn't like a DC movie, like, they kind of come out and make a disclaimer before they even say anything negative about it. Like, I'll never forget the Double Toasted guys coming out and making an apology video after bashing Aquaman. And that's the moment where I was like, the tide has changed, man. People are done bashing DC, because I've often said with the MCU that, people want to see something fall. People just like that's just, I don't know if it's human nature or what. They want to see you fall. If you're at your top, they want to see you fail. They want to see you fall. So that's why people are clamoring at, chomping at the bit for the MCU to fall down. But with DC, it's the opposite. I always believe, it works both ways. And DC has been down for quite a while. I'm not to say DC hasn't produced some things, but they have been generally down for so long that people want them to rise. They want them to rise. They're done shitting on them. Now they see them as Rocky. They see them as this little engine that could. They're like, you know what? We want them to succeed. And you know what? It's a clean slate. We're going to ignore everything that happened before. I argue all the time on Den of Nerds about, like, how the fuck are all you fans excited for all this? Would you just forget that they have had 2 slates? 2, 3 if you count the one they showed to their corporate bosses at a conference call. They've had 3 slates. And out of the 3 slates and multiple movies, I believe only Shazam and Birds of Prey actually got made. Out of all those movies, they had a bunch, and Wonder Woman too. They had a bunch of movies that were supposed to be coming out. A Cyborg movie, a Flash movie, a Nightwing movie, a Batgirl movie. All this crazy shit. And nothing happened. Nothing. Multiple times. And somehow, some way, they managed to get all these DC fans hyped. And I'm not saying you shouldn't be. But the level of arrogance and the level of, chest pumping that the DC movie fandom, I'm not talking about the comic book people, you guys, we're all in the same boat in terms of comic books, well, sorry about what happened to DC Comics, but we're all in the same boat in terms of level of excitement for a comic book. But the DC movie people, I don't know what the fuck leg they're standing on. I don't know if they know this, but Birds of Prey didn't make any money. Shazam made a profit, but it didn't world beat. Like, I think you guys forget there was like a whole month-and-a-half stretch where no one knew if Shazam was getting a sequel. Which you're banking on Aquaman. You're banking on your 64% Aquaman. Oh, what are they gonna make a sequel to the Joker? I thought you didn't need a sequel. I thought the Joker was a prestige movie. Doesn't need a sequel, but maybe it does. Like, it's a bit insane over there. It's aggravated me. I'm sorry for venting, but it's the DC fandom, whatever it turns out, and like I've thought of before, no matter what gets announced there, regardless of what gets announced there, it's not gonna come out any sooner than the MCU stuff. By the time anything they announce at DC fandom, by the time it comes out, by anything they announce tomorrow, by the time that shit comes out, it ain't gonna be nobody. It's not gonna be any. It's not. I'm telling you, there's not gonna be a single one of these things to come out before. By the time that shit comes out, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, and WandaVision, and Black Widow would have come out. But by the time they even brought out the first damn thing from there, I can almost get at least 3 of those are gonna come out before they ever even pump out. Some of this is gonna come out before they even ever get Justice League Dark out. Now, what's gonna happen is they're gonna release some trailers. People are gonna pop. Release some trailers, get a little cheap pop, and every DC fan's gonna be like, yeah, this is the end of the MCU. But you know what is coming. You know it ain't. Thank you guys for joining me on the Comic Game Movie Show. Please remember to like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.